Howdy, it is I, Junk, back again so soon. I guess we haven't talked for a couple days. Uh, I messed up my back, of all things. I'd come to you with one health malady after another. I'm going to look like the Skyros pilot pretty soon, Theseus. But eventually I decided I couldn't wait any longer, so I'm actually recording this in bed, and you should be honored, because normally you have to join my only bots to get this kind of service. But here we are, you and I, having a good time. I had a couple thoughts I wanted to share about 9.2 that's coming out shortly, and then I've got some gameplay for you where we both look at the world of heavy Behemoth and they take out your Behemoth early gameplay. So let's jump over to the Reddit post where they have the patch notes and talk through some of what's there. Okay, here we are, Reddit post. So, let's take this in order. Titan pilots we already talked about. The Titan pilots, they're going to add the pilots. They're going to then rebalance the Titans to account for the Titan pilots. And it means that essentially this is a nerf, so they can sell you back the solution, much as they did with Mark III tokens, much as they did with the drone rebalance. This is more scumbag behavior. And what can I say? Pixonic hates you and me. And we're in an abusive relationship with them. And every day I think I can change them, and every day I'm disappointed. So, yeah, not looking forward to Titan pilots. They are just going to be, it's just going to be them forcing us to spend money to get back to what we have now. So, new robot. Is it Ophion? I want to say Ophion. Maybe I'm wrong. Up here. So let me read this from a different screen. Lurking in the darkest corner, the Ophion robot snake is ready to strike at the enemy with a surprise attack, soaring into the sky. In flight, it has enhanced defenses and explosive built-in weapons that can deal devastating damage to Titans. So let's just review here. Robot flies into the sky, gets enhanced defenses, and has a built-in weapon that deals damage to Titans. So it's the Hawk or the Seraph, but it's a snake now. Oh man, you gotta hand it to the developers. They're so creative. I mean, I think when you boil it down, there's like 4 robots anymore, and this is one of them. It does indicate that the Seraph, which I think is just too weak to be meta, is not coming back. At least they don't seem to intend it to come back. I think the Seraph is great if you're doing PvE and you want to put lightning on a bunch of spiders. That's great. In PvP, if you kill something with it, you're lucky. Or you killed something very soft that would have been easier with a different robot. I call it Feather Destrier for a reason. It's squishy. I don't understand the devotion to it other than people leveled a lot of them because that was the meta. It's sort of like the months after they nerfed the Fafnir, except the Seraph is malingered much longer than that. So anyway, I think the existence of this robot is more indication that the Seraph is not meant to come back. The new weapons, medium-range grenade launchers, it's going to be a wait-and-see thing. I'm curious, since they've put in so many fast robots, if this is a gift to the Nether, or maybe not. I don't know. I guess it really depends. We're going to have to wait and see on that. The drone Shai, this is interesting. It says stable support on the battlefield and quick help at a critical moment. To me, that sounds like it's talking about like a Nebula or a Persephone role. Nebula and Persephone both came in at tier 3. So if this could be a good drone for tanks, I'm very interested. Right now, the only tier 4 drone that seems clearly for tanks is the Reviver. And it just doesn't offer enough else to justify choosing it. So, interested to see what happens with this drone. But of course, the big news, the thing that I'm most excited for, Yamantau Remastered. You should imagine, based on my devotion to the Behemoth, that I'm a big Yamantau fan, nice big map. But I just have really fond memories of this map, and I didn't have a Behemoth back then. I was running a lot of spider bots like Fujin and Raijin, and it was just a great map for... You could set up and you could snipe from it, but there were a lot of places you could brawl, and not just center. I know that if you didn't play on it and you just see the images now, you think, oh, well, center is the only place you can really brawl. No, because what you didn't appreciate about the classic map, and who knows what's going to be going on the new map, but in the classic map, there were corners next to both platforms. The left side of either platform was a place where there was a place to brawl that there wasn't any good angle to shoot at. So you really did have a lot of good brawling going on. I am absolutely, I promise you, I'm going in there with 5 behemoths one of these days, and I'm just going to try demoralizing Reds until they rage quit the game. So, very much looking forward to Yamantau. Very much sure the Titan pilots are just a way of extracting money from us, and fairly sure that the new robot is meant to make sure the Seraph continues to not really be in the meta. Wait and see on the drone and the weapons. That's kind of my take on it. I would say, just in case, you might want to start saving your currency for the drone and the weapons just in case they turn out to be really good. I'm sure the weapons are going to be very strong because that's the business model. And unfortunately, you're going to need to level Titan pilots just to get your Titans back to where they were, so yeah, that too. Based on the cost of the drones, I am guessing the Titan pilot currency might be more expensive than regular pilots. We shall see. But I am a little bit... Let's face it, like, the drone microchip cost is clown shoes, and if that's how they view this rebalance, that we're just going to super extract money from you now, then I'm assuming the Titan pilots will be like that too. It is getting to the point where, I know, everyone says this every week, but it is getting to the point where this game is ceasing to be a viable thing to play week to week. And in the past, I've almost defended it, comparing it to, like, playing golf and spending money on club fees. But when club fees go up, they usually give you something new. They don't take away something to sell it back to you. So, yeah, War Robots, the monetization is continuing to descend, and I'm a little bit apprehensive what the Titan pilot piece of that is going to look like. But let's get back to the hangar. Okay, a couple of things I would like to mention here before we get into some gameplay. One is that there's a new effect. You can't see it here, unfortunately. You have to look for it in the games. But there's a new effect on the Warrior Typhon. Actually, I'm just thinking through. I don't think I played this particular robot in these games. So, okay, look for it in other games. I know there's one I posted earlier today that has it. One I posted last night that has it. I'll try to link that in the card here. But there's a new effect that shows up on the Warrior Typhon when it goes out there. I don't know what it comes from. It's very cool looking. I mean, it almost looks like the effect on the light sonic weapons. You know what I'm talking about? Those, here, let's... You also won't be able to see this here, but at least I can show you the weapon I'm talking about. The Tiger Scatter. You know how there's this, like, sort of... looks like hair or something on the tiger? They've done that for the lion here in the Warrior Typhon, so it's a very cool-looking robot. In terms of this particular build, it's an awesome build for brawling with other shielded robots, since you're carrying a weapon that not only enhances your shields but goes through theirs. But, like every other shielded bot, the Sirens and Harpies take it out so quickly that I don't know that I would run this long-term. It's fun to run. It's cool to run. I don't think the Typhon is something that I would want in a regular hangar on an ongoing basis, because it only takes one Siren or Harpy to erase it in seconds, and then you've wasted the entire slot. You'll notice one robot you don't see here is the Ultimate Spectre, and I was actually frustrated enough I just took it out of the hangar entirely. It's hanging out back here in storage somewhere. There it is, yeah. I did put shock trains on it. I tried a game with them, and I don't think I even got a shot off. It's gorgeous. It's a Spectre, and I think I don't totally agree with the criticism I heard before, which is that it's just basically it doesn't function any better than a regular Spectre. It does function better than a regular Spectre. That 50% damage boost you get when you're in the air is a big deal, and with Weber, you are completely one-shotting robots. I think the basic issue is... the reason it's still a Spectre is that the increased life doesn't do enough to make it meta viable, and I think that's where Pixonic has kind of failed in the construction of the robot. The weapons are great. The robot, the basic promise here was this was going to update it to make it viable in the current meta. It's just not. It's just not. 191,000 with no defense systems is not a viable robot in the current meta. Like, Crisis, I would argue, is not particularly viable in the current meta, and it has one of the most ridiculously overpowered defense systems you could possibly have, perma-stealth. Although, in this meta, that doesn't get you very far either. So, if you get an Ultimate Spectre, should you level it? If you've got money to be spending on that game to begin with, I guess you may as well level it to have it. But it's not going to be something you're going to want to run very often. You know, for a laugh, to show off with your friends. Maybe if you're doing a clan run or guild run, you want to do that. But no, the investment of money you put into the ultimate Spectre is only in isn't having a status symbol. It isn't in having it in your hangar, because it isn't that great. If you get the Spectre and the Orkans, level the Orkans and put them on something meta. The Orkans are great, but the Spectre is just a Spectre. Okay, that said, let's get into some gameplay. I've got 2 games here I think you should look at. The first one is Castle, where I run into some old acquaintances, let's say. And then the second one is a Factory. The Castle game, it will be interesting because it's a lot of laser behemoth, and it might be interesting to see a preview of what you might want to play with or against on Yamantau when it comes back. The Factory game is just a little bit of fun for what happens when your laser behemoth gets taken out early and you actually have to go play on the ground like people do. Cool, let's get into it. Okay, we're going to drop into the castle here in the Ardent Behemoth with the lasers. I've been dropping that a lot lately as my first drop on Castle, Factory, you know, anything with a long range of sight. Canyon, where you can do some good damage early on. There's a laser crisis that picks up on me pretty quickly, and then I start taking some damage from what appears to be Prisma? Maybe? Emoji, but it's on the ground now. I see we've got Wonder Woman and King Scorpion on this. When they were in a different clan, I had the perception that other clan was hackers. I haven't had that perception in their new roles. And I'm wondering if I'm going to get a little payback for some of the nasty things I've said about them in the past. Kind of a longest yard situation where the offensive line just lets some people through to send a message to the quarterback. But right now I see Wonder Woman is doing her best with rust rockets to keep the other side at bay. I cast my glance down here to the right, and just in time, you'll see, here comes a Lynx, a melee Lynx. Yeah, there it is. To come teach me some lessons. He takes out a good chunk of me, but not enough. I survived that assassination attempt with, I think I came out of it with 165,000 health. I don't ditch the Behemoth in a situation like this unless I've lost a weapon. No matter how low my health gets, if I've got cover and I've got the Paladin Mothership, I can come back from it. Because I also have the durability extender on it, so... Look back to the right, there's King Scorpion and Wonder Woman, this time clearly doing everything they can to protect me from what is now obviously an angler. And he comes down thinking he's going to take a shot where his friend failed. Rusts me up a little bit, but down to 207, coming back from that already. And I can see across the way there's a Prisma Erebus. I will not take static from a robot that never even had a meta. And you saw that the Paladin kicked in and I got a good heal out of that. 368,000. So right now I'm trying to decide. There are some long-range fighters over there. Also, the guy in that Prisma Erebus, remember that name. You might see him in the next game, I think, if I remember correctly. So we saw each other a couple times on this night. Wonder Woman had went across trying to fight up there. I'm going to just shoot down into this space under the bridge. I don't get the kills, but I think I do support the teammates a bit. Wonder Woman back in another Rust Rocket Angler. Okay. See our Steam Fighters guy coming down. This will be the third assassination attempt on this Behemoth. And he zips around a bit, tries stealth. I've got the Quantum Radar. And he becomes the third robot to completely fail. Well, I don't get a kill on this particular one. Down to 112. And a quick look around the field here. I see we're harassing their home beacon. Try to put a little laser heat down on that Erebus, but nothing comes of it. Shooting down into their home managed to increase the level of paranoia they're experiencing. Meanwhile, I see we're getting harassed up top. I don't know by what, and I don't care. It's going to get laser in its face. And, yeah, it looks like it was Lynx. Wonder Woman trying to figure out where he went. Well, every so often I can be useful too, you know. Not all the time, but, you know, sometimes. So I'm just looking for angles now, and I'm starting to see where this game is going to head a little bit, or at least where I think it's going to head. Winning another Behemoth shootout, always nice to do. So I see we've got Wonder Woman up top again, most of the team down by the bridge, and I'm thinking they're going to take out Wonder Woman. I'm wrong, she goes for D. But now that leaves no pressure on A. And I see there's an Indra coming up to A top. So my thought was I'm going to rotate down towards B. This could turn into a running game where we're just running around taking different beacons, but I know I can't win an up-close shootout with an Indra with bubble weapons. Wonder Woman and Bishop never got that memo. They go up there and manage to save the beacon. Bad news for the Scorpion. It couldn't find a place to hide in time to do its Scorpion stuff, so... So I see they've managed to defend the beacon. We've got good pressure going down towards their home. I'm happy where I am. Now this is one of the guys who tried to assassinate me earlier. I think he was maybe the Nether. And he decides to feed me a godlike by sending a feather destroyer at me. I don't know what that was supposed to accomplish. So here I think I can, maybe if I get the right angle, I can put some pressure on the Ravana. I can't take him out, but I can move him off of the circle. But his friends, the Indras, managed to do the job even with him hiding. They figure it out. I mean, good heads-up play by the Indras to see what I was up to and realize they can make this a pointless endeavor. So I just keep putting fire on them and walking back. I want to be close enough to the Indras that I can shoot at them, but not so close that I'm the best target for their bubble shotguns. And conveniently, I managed to thread that needle. And here's that Ravana I wanted to get rid of so badly. Did I say Ravana before? Or did I say... I might have said Revenant. Well, whatever. It's a Ravana. So things are starting to look a little bit dire for them. We've got one beacon advantage, massive beacon bar advantage. They keep dropping in here at C, trying to walk over. I cannot begin to imagine why they would even attempt such a thing. Feed me 2 more bots just by trying to do that. Are they going to feed me this third one? Oh, it's Riddle. He was the guy in the Erebus before. Hey, what's up, man? Did the Erebus thing not work out? Did the bot that never had a meta continue to not have a meta? So check this out. We've got a Hawk. Now, King Scorpion with the Rook dives onto the Hawk. Hawk goes flying up in the air, and it's skeet shooting for the Behemoth. I'll take that. A second godlike, I think, of the day. Of the match, anyway. Oh, I don't get the kill on the Nether. But it looks like they may be running a little short on bots. I'm seeing 5 players in. Bunch of beacons flipping in their favor, though. Red team's going to have 3. We're going to have 1 with a disputed red team home. But with the bot advantage, that will quickly resolve itself. Now, for whatever reason, this is just disrespectful. This Minos doesn't come from my Behemoth. I can't imagine why. By the way, you remember when we were down to... I think at one point we were under 200,000 health. We were just over 600,000. The Paladin and the durability extender are not to be played around with. If you fail to take out a robot, and that robot has cover, expect to see him later. Yeah, I'm getting into like the territory of having a Minos level of health. So, a Minos of health. That's a good unit. Skyro's trying to make something happen here, but can't quite make it work. I decide let's just get into something for a little while and... Oh, bad news for this Feather Destroyer. It was all going so well. This was the Minos that... the player who was playing the Minos who didn't come after me before. That was disrespectful. You hurt my feelings. My Behemoth is a threat. It's a real threat. So I was going to go down and try to do something at C, but this Typhon decided he wanted to dance. Gets me down to 4,000 health when the stealth kicks in. And I get some teammate help, and that is about all she wrote. We end with a 5 cap with 1 bot left on their side. Let's take a look at the numbers. 14 kills, 1 beacon captured, 7 million damage. That's really off the back of Wonder Woman and King Scorpion, so thank you both for doing all the heavy lifting with the beacon work and actually holding people at bay there, and I could just sit back and make everyone regret their choices. So that was obviously a heavy behemoth game. Let's take a look at something that's a little bit more distributed around the hangar. Alright, we are dropping in on the factory now. Factory being another place where it's about half the maps where the first drop, it just makes sense to be the laser behemoth. Get that fire downfield, try to take out some enemies early. So, laser behemoth slowly and carefully making its way over to the pedestal. Deltaki drone to add that 5th laser for good measure. And very early on, I start having trouble finding decent shots. Red team, to its credit, is apparently aware of my presence and very good at finding places to stand where I can't quite reach them, even if I try to move around within a safe space here. You know, I put some fire onto a mender who immediately heals it up, and what have I accomplished, really? But there's a behemoth, I think, is what's down there that's hiding. Can't reach it. This weather chicken, I don't know which kind it is from here, but getting some fire on the weather chicken. Can't take it out. Quantum radar to get some fire on that behemoth. Do a little bit of damage, but he's back into cover. So, at this point I'm feeling a bit frustrated and getting the sense that this is not going to be one of those games where I can just stand back and expect to rack up kill streaks. I'm going to have to work for my money, I can already tell. And I don't know exactly how it's going to go at this point when I'm playing, but I'm thinking, I have a sense that the longer I spend in this robot, the lower I'm going to be on the scoreboard. Which is entirely to the red team's credit. Oh, there's that behemoth again, but I'm out of range. So I try to crawl up and get to him, and Seraph thinks this is his opportunity to come and attack, and quickly finds out that the Feather Destrier is not part of this meta. Please stop trying to play the Feather Destrier. You're humiliating yourself. I'm shooting down there, and I don't know what I thought, but it looks like that was maybe a nemesis, so I apologize for feeding. I don't know what I thought I was shooting at. Put a little damage there on that behemoth that snuck over. Maybe it's a Redeemer behemoth? I can't see what it is, and I don't think I ever get an answer. Fafnir thought he was going to get away with the absorber shield, but there was a weather chicken to punish him. The weather chicken ruined so many robots and continues to ruin so many robots. All the things that Pixonic will do to mess with the robots, they're just going to let Siren and Harpy ruin entire genres of robots. There's like 6 or 7 robots that rely on shields that just aren't viable because the Siren and Harpy are out here ruining them. So, I don't like the Siren and Harpy. I think they were a mistake. That pilot needs a nerf. Nerf the duration at least. Don't make it the whole ability duration. Or nerf the ability duration so that it doesn't matter if it's the whole ability duration. Anyway, I see there's a Typhon coming for me, and this is where things start to get sticky because that behemoth that I wanted so badly, he's got a freeze rocket Ravana. You don't see too many of these. And there's a, it looks like a Sonic Angler, maybe a hybrid with Sonic and Rust Rockets coming for me too. Either one of these robots would be a fine matchup for the behemoth. But 2 of them with no help. The main thing being, oh, it's pure Sonic. The main thing being that the Ravana manages to delay my behemoth's attention long enough for the Typhon to take me out with the Sonic. So I'm in now the Rust Rocket Angler. Gonna move down towards our secondary, where there's another Typhon. And I'm in an anti-Typhon mood right now for reasons. So they've got a decent beacon bar advantage. They've got a beacon advantage that they're still going to have after we take back our secondary. And there's a Titan on our secondary. I'm starting to have concerns, you could say. But this experience with the Titan actually helps allay my concerns because it seems like we've got good teammate support for the most part. People are firing at him. It's not like I'm here by myself, you know. And now we've got an Indra coming to help vacuum up this Junior League Titan. Luchador 2. the bravest little Erebus. I don't know how we thought that was going to go, but it didn't. So, I'm feeling alright. We do have a shot. You know, we are piecing it together here. I'm looking at the Rook and thinking, I need to put as much rust on the Rook as I can, but I can't let an Erebus Erebus are so squishy. You just take out the Erebus first. It's like 2 seconds. Take out the Erebus and then go back to the Titan. And I want to rust up this Rook as much as possible to soften it up for the Vacuum Indra, although of all the weapons to go after a Rook, that would be my absolute last choice. Maybe Striker behind that, but, I mean, you don't have the medium Striker, so... they've got an Indra, they've got the Rook on their home. I see there's an Angler to the left, and to the right there's the Noodles. I'm still... just want to rust that Rook up, and there, finally, Rook goes down. And I'm a little bit less intimidated by the Nodens, so I'm thinking maybe what I can do is try to make a push for their home. And I decide I have to use my stealth, and then I'll go into my ability to avoid the Indra and the Nodens and the Seraph, get back to their home. Now I have no earthly intention of attempting to hold this, but I have managed to drag their Noodles towards me to try to do something about it and fail. And now we have a 4-cap. They are going to have to drop in at home or somewhere else to come take this beacon back from me. They can't let me sit on their home like this. And I don't expect they will, but forcing them to do this is going to pull them off of other beacons. So this is actually just a purely good thing. Even though I don't intend to hold it for long, forcing them to come back off what they're doing to deal with me is going to let us hold that 4-cap longer. And I was just trying to push him away, and he rolled away in the bug limited edition Angler. I want to say shame on you, but I'm starting to think that, like, this is just the game now. Limited edition things are just going to be harder to hit. We just have to deal with it at this point. And obviously I can see I've got the Vajra shotguns. See the Luchador, and I didn't intend to come out of this alive. I got what I wanted. We held that 4-cap for way longer than we should have. I start to worry that we're meching, but quickly realize we're not. And hey, here's a build they might not have expected. The Glory Behemoth. I've been so annoyed by the Glory Lynx. I said, how come they get all the glory? I should have some glory. I never ran this build before. I leveled these shotguns just for this build. So I never ran the glory, at least more than one of them on anything. I'd won and I leveled 3. And I'm feeling very lucky that I get a nice Fenrir to sink my teeth into. That's not bad damage, I would say. And for some reason, he doesn't turn to me right away. And then after that shot, now the Flamethrower Fenrir has the impression, this might be a situation I should deal with. Beacon bar is almost even, starting to lose their beacon advantage. It's 3-2 on the beacons. I get some teammate help and manage to take out the last bit of health on that Angler. And I would say now they're in some trouble. And hey, that's our friend from the Erebus. Remember him? From the Erebus at the castle? Last man standing over here. Let's see what he's in. Another, and I think he's given up on beacons and he's just trying to get in some damage. Well, me too, thanks for the triple kill. And I think that's everything. Trying to get myself in position in case someone drops, but nobody does. Game over. So let's see how we did when we lost our Behemoth. Well, lost our first Behemoth anyway. Let's see, 5.8 million, 10 kills, 6 beacons captured. Not bad. I would say that if you can't shoot him from ranged, sometimes it's okay to just hop down off the beacon, or hop down off the pedestal anyway, and go find him in the field. So, thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you're a dog or cat at home alone waiting for your parents, I'm sure they will come back with a treat for you, and you're all very good puppies and kitties, and I will talk to you again very soon. Later.